Yonezu Kenshi. Lemon. 900 million views. He almost called it something else. The song you have heard in every Japanese cafe since 2018 was, in his first draft, called Memento. Latin. A thing that helps you remember. He wrote it on the file, looked at it, and threw it out. 3 things about Lemon that change once you know the title he refused. All 3, in the next 12 minutes. I'm beyond the subtitles. Where we go where subtitles can't. Number 1. Why a Latin word felt wrong, and an English fruit felt right. Number 2. The poet Yonezu did name, when an interviewer asked where the fruit came from. Number 3. The 1925 short story he didn't name, but that had already named the fruit, almost 100 years before he was born. Lemon dropped on March 14, 2018. The theme song for the TBS drama Unnatural. A song about a death. Episode 005. Yonezu Kenshi. Lemon. Yonezu Kenshi released Lemon on March 14, 2018. By then it had been on the radio for 2 months as the theme song for Unnatural, a TBS Friday night drama. The premise of the drama: a team of medical examiners performs autopsies on deaths that should not have happened. A death every episode. 10 episodes. The song plays over the closing credits, the moment right after a family has been told what killed someone they loved. 2 things were true about the song when Yonezu started writing it. The brief from the drama team asked for something to play after death. And, quietly, in his own life, his grandfather was dying. He has said since then, in interviews, that what he meant to write was a song to gently hold people who had been hurt. What came out, by the end, was different. It became a song that just says, "I am sad you are gone." When he posted the file the first day, the working title was Memento. Then, by his own account, Beat, a song about someone's death, called Memento, that felt like too much. Pretentious. On the nose. He took the Latin off. He looked for something else. What he replaced it with was a word that, in the song's chorus, he had already written. 2 lines. This is what the lyrics actually say. 3 things about the title. Why he refused the first one. Who he did name when asked. And what he didn't. Fact 1. Why a Latin word felt wrong. A memento is a Roman word. It means remember. The same root that gives us memento mori, the medieval skull on the desk, the warning that you will die. In English, memento has had 1,000 years to become heavy. To wear a black coat. To stand for grief. Yonezu felt it standing for grief. That was the problem. Beat. Naming a song Memento, in a country whose pop charts do not normally carry Latin titles, would have done something exact. It would have told every listener in advance, this is the death song. It would have closed the meaning before the first chord. He said it himself. Yarasuji. Too much. Hana and Itsuku. Sticks to the nose. That's a Japanese idiom for pretentious, an aesthetic word, not a moral one. The objection wasn't that Memento was wrong. It was that Memento was closed. A title that explains itself before the song begins. So he took it off. What he replaced it with had to do the same job, point at grief, without saying the word. Fact 2, the poet Yonezu did name. When Billboard Japan asked him, years later, where the title finally came from, he answered carefully. Beat. There is a literary nuance to the word lemon, I think. Also Takamura Kotaro's Keiko show, The Lemon Elegy. Things like that. From that kind of place, the word lemon was sort of unconsciously in my head. It came out of there. 2 things in that sentence. First, he names one writer. Takamura Kotaro. A modernist poet who, in 1938, wrote a poem called Ramon Ika, Lemon Elegy. It is about his wife, Keiko, dying. He puts a lemon to her lips. Her clouded mind comes back for an instant. They share one final look. He continues to put lemons in front of her photograph after she's gone. Second, and this is the part the English language internet has missed, the word he uses for how it got into his head is muishikatiki ni. Unconsciously. Not I read it and copied it. Not I borrowed. The word was already in him before he sat down to write. He named one source. The interviewer's question implied he might have meant another. He didn't take the bait. Fact 3, the 1925 story he didn't name. 13 years before Takamura wrote Lemon Elegy, in 1925, A Japanese short story writer named Koji Motojiro published a piece called Ramon. In English, Lemon. Koji was 23 when he wrote it. He had tuberculosis. He would be dead by 31. The story is 4,900 words long. The hardest part of writing it, by his own letters, was making it short. Here is what happens in it. A young man, depressed, fevered, broke, wanders through Kyoto. He has a strange, lifting feeling. He buys a single lemon at a fruit stand. The yellow weight of it in his palm changes him. He carries the lemon into Maruzen, the bookstore where rich people buy art books. He stacks a tower of expensive picture books in the middle of an aisle. He places the lemon on top of the tower. He walks out. He thinks of the lemon as a bomb. He imagines, 10 minutes later, all of Maruzen exploding into golden light. That story is in every Japanese high school literature textbook. Every reader of Japanese knows it. The interviewer at Billboard Japan knew it. When she asked Yonezu where the word lemon came from, Koji's story is what she was pointing at. Yonezu named Takamura. He did not name Koji. Beat. Why he didn't, I can't tell you. He said unconsciously. You can take him at his word, or you can squint. What I can tell you is that the symbol of the lemon, a fruit you carry, a fruit that holds something it shouldn't be able to hold, a fruit that sits next to a death, was waiting in the Japanese language before Yonezu was born. It had been waiting for 93 years. Stay with that. Culture comes back to it. Decode showed you what's in the title. Learn is for what you can take with you to the next song you listen to. 3 tools. ###### tool 1. Why English borrowed Memento but Japanese borrowed lemon. The 2 words in this story crossed the same ocean in opposite directions. Memento moved from Latin into English in the 15th century. It carries with it, even now, the weight of medieval Christianity, memento mori, skull on the desk. When an English speaker hears memento, the air around the word is already heavy. Lemon moved from Persian liman, through Arabic, through Italian limwan, into English in the 14th century, into Japanese, as Ramon, written in katakana, in the late 19th. When a Japanese speaker hears Ramon, the air around the word is bright. Yellow. New. Beat. That asymmetry is the whole title. The word that meant grief, memento, was too heavy in Japanese hands. The word that meant brightness is lemon, was light enough to carry grief without showing it. The English word arrived in Japanese with no funeral. Yonezu loaded one in. ##### tool 2, kadami, the Japanese word for memento, that he could have used but didn't. Japanese already has a word for memento. It's a beautiful one.
Katami.
Kadami, literal, shape scene, meaning, an object kept after a person dies, that holds the shape of their having existed. A watch. A scarf. A handwritten note. Kadami would have been the obvious Japanese title for a death song. It is purer than memento. It does not carry Latin theology. It carries one private person's loss. Yonezu did not pick Kadami either. Beat. Here is what I think the second refusal tells us. Kadami would have done the same job as memento. It would have closed the song before it played. A song titled Kadami would tell every Japanese listener, this is about someone who died. Yonezu wanted the song to feel like grief, but to be something else first. A scent. A fruit. A color. A bitter taste on the back of the tongue. Then, 3 minutes in, the listener realizes what they have been holding. The word he picked is the one that doesn't tell you what it is. ##### tool 3, how to read a J-pop title in the negative. 1 habit. The next time a Japanese song has a noun for its title, ask, what is this noun standing in for? Then ask, what is the direct word the writer didn't use? Lemon stands for kadami. It also stands for memento. The writer refused both. What he kept was a fruit on a table in a bright kitchen, and a smell that doesn't leave. Decode left a number open. 93 years. That is how long the Japanese word lemon has been sitting next to a death in a famous piece of writing. 3 layers. Going forward in time. ##### layer 1, 1925, Koji's bomb. Kyoto, 1925. Koji Motojiro is 23 and has tuberculosis. He has known for 4 years he is going to die young. He walks into a bookstore called Maruzen, the kind of place that sells the expensive imported art books an art student might dream over and never afford. He places a lemon on top of a stack of those books. He leaves. In the story, he imagines the lemon as a bomb, that 10 minutes after he steps out the door, the entire bookstore, and all that cultural authority it represents, will detonate into golden light. The story is called Lemon. It is a story about a young man who is going to die putting a small bright living thing on top of expensive objects, and walking away. It is not, in any explicit way, a story about grief. It is a story about defiance. But the symbol it gives to the Japanese language is unmistakable. The lemon is the thing you carry, when you know what is coming, into the room you cannot stop. Kaji died 7 years later. He was 31. He published, in his whole life, 3 short collections. One of them, the title piece, was Lemon. Hashtag Layer 2, 1938, Takamura's Last Gift. Skip forward 13 years. 1938, Tokyo. The poet Takamura Kotaro sits next to his wife Kyeko, who is dying of tuberculosis in a hospital bed. Kyeko has lost most of her mind to the illness. Takamura, by his own poem, puts a lemon to her lips. He writes, decades later. Beat, held lyric quote on screen. So ayu Tokyo renjiaro no Ramon o anata wa ki and shitamoya. At a time like that, did the orange-colored lemon weigh on your mind? Kyeko bites the lemon. Her senses come back for an instant. They share one final clear moment. She dies. Takamura keeps putting lemons in front of her photograph for the rest of his life. The poem is called Ramon Ika, Lemon Elegy. Now the symbol is firm. The lemon is the thing you place near someone who is dying, that gives them, and you, one bright second before the dark. Hashtag Layer 3, 2018, Yonezu's Borrowed Scent. Skip forward 80 years. 2018, Yonezu Kenshi is writing a song about a death he is being paid to imagine, in the same months that his grandfather is dying in real life. He looks for a word. He refuses Memento. He refuses Kadami. He arrives at Lemon. In the interview, he says, unconsciously in my head. Here's what I think the chain looks like. Kaji put the lemon next to expensive books in 1925. Takamura put the lemon to dying lips in 1938. Every Japanese reader after them, including every schoolchild who read Lemon for an exam, was put next to the symbol. By 2018, the symbol had been polished by 93 years of use. When Yonezu reached into his head for a word that would mean something bright next to something ending, the language had a lemon ready. He didn't name Kaji. He didn't have to. The fruit was already in him. Beat. There is one more thing. October 5th, in Japan, is Lemon Day. It is the day in 1938 that Kyeko died. Beat, silence, held. The language remembers what its writers forget. 3 tools. 1 habit. The next time a Japanese song has a noun for its title, do 3 things. Look at the noun. Ask what the writer was not allowed to say directly. Then ask what the language was already carrying inside that noun before the writer reached for it. There is almost always something there. The Japanese language is 1,000 years old and J-pop is 50. The fruit was almost always already in the room. If you found a noun, drop it in the comments. Tell me the song, the title, what you think the noun is standing in for. The best ones become future episodes. 2 resources I trust for going deeper. Italki, if you want a tutor who will sit with you and read lyrics out loud and tell you what the kanji are doing, link in the description. Wanikani, if and Ramon are the kanji you want to actually own, also linked. The song is called Lemon. It is not, on its surface, about death. By minute 3 it is the saddest fruit you have ever held. Spotify link below. Listen to it once today. Let it run all the way through. Listen for what Yonezu didn't have to tell you, because the Japanese language had told you already, 93 years before he was born. I'm beyond the subtitles. Subscribe if any of this is the kind of thing you want more of. Until next time.